Who's Ryan Shepard? I've taken over the alias RAYN. I always dealt with like being in my head of like, I don't want to say something wrong, what if I mess up? Because there's so many ridiculous things I've done just because I was so into my head about like feeling weak and feeling nervous from my upbringing that I was like, I wanted to see how far I would push myself. I want to be known as a guy who's afraid to not try. I own a couple businesses here in Gainesville, Florida. I'm the owner of Maverick Moving Company. I started up a business that does brewery tours and a nightlife shuttle. And my third business, I started up a record label called Millhopper Music and became an artist under that label with the name of RAYN. So my goal for music is when, you see some dude just ripping saxophone on the corner having a blast, it just, you can't not be like, pfft. But what if you go out there and someone's like, absolutely just depressed and is about to walk to an alleyway where they're gonna overdose on Percocets, and because they see you, they're like, what are you doing? Why are you so happy? And then what you tell them makes them throw that bottle away, Yeah, me and my best friend, we were ridiculous. We always had to push the limit and get as drunk as possible, as trippy as possible. I don't know why, but I've done nudity streaking. I've had public fornication during class. I've railed oxycodone off desks and stuff. I've stolen Ferraris. I stuck shotguns in people's face. I don't come from that. It's not who I am, but I was doing all that. Kind of feel like I'm my own worst problem, but then I also kind of have had to not excuse a lot of the stuff that I grew up with my parents. For me, the norm of how abusive my dad would get with my mom, he would physically beat down doors to get into the bathroom after her, My sister had Down syndrome and she'd be in my arms crying all the time, and and then the next day I was just supposed to go to school and toughen up, be a man, just don't be fazed by that. If there's anyone that's struggling, at least mentally, how I was, music seriously is just such a good outlet. I don't have a clean record. I have a very, very tattered criminal record. So when I would go start applying for places after my lease ended in 2020, no one would accept me. I was homeless. I was living in a van. I bought a van for $1,400 because I couldn't find anywhere else to go. I felt dissatisfied with myself, always having to kind of feel insecure being around people. I didn't feel like I could do enough in any day. When I was Baker active back in the beginning of 2022, I got tossed in by GPD, and I just went in there and just started rapping, man, and people could hear it, and they were outside wait, what? That's really good. That is where I got into music. That is truthfully where it happened. At that point, I was yeah, I love music. I see what it has done for me. I see what it did to this whole place. To just through music, touch them, was so awesome. I want Millhopper Music to do for other people what it did to me, which was just realize you can dig inside of yourself to get what it is that you need. Yeah, was I depressed? For sure. Did I choose happiness in the end? Yeah. That's what I want everybody to do. Mill love to hate. He just love to hate. Still the same. Since I met him just the other day. But he love to hate. Hey. But he love to hate. Oh, Tom with the hog leg. I got distracted by this right here.
What inspires me about RAYN is that 1 minute there will be nothing. The bus is broken. Not only do we not have any money, but we owe a bunch of people money. The cops are chasing us. We're hungover. We're stuck out in the middle of a desert.
We've never been stuck out in the middle of a desert.
And then the next day, I'm just saying what it's like. I'm describing it to people.
Okay.
And then the next day, we wake up and the bus is working. We have a bunch of money.
When it rains, it pours.
Half-naked dancing girls everywhere. We're getting great footage. And the thing about Rayn is he knows that's gonna happen. So when it's down, you know, he gets a little irritated, but he knows he's gonna go right back up.
Yeah, you get the heat evaporate.
So we're along for the roller coaster ride.
One. Honestly, music for me is my therapy. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to be cliche, but I want to help people see their light. I love love. I think love is your absolute, like, pinnacle power. And people talk about money's power. Well, I disagree. I mean, I feel like knowledge is power. And if you know what someone loves, you can do one of two things. You know, you can create as their best self, or you can destroy them because you know what they love. And people will do crazy things for love. Why hate when you can love? It's so much better.